The title of my movie is Awakened. It appears on the screen in a blood-like movement which conforms to my genre of horror. Blood is a conventional feature of a horror movie and connotes to death and murder, and so I feel this would be fitting for my opening. The bloody effect is very similar to the way Dawn of the Dead is revealed too, and that was a very successful movie with highly credited titles. The locations I chose for my opening were chosen to subtly contrast each other. The woods were a stereotypical location used in many films, as voted for by my audience. I chose to set the main stalker scenes in the woods, as they are an isolated place full of the unknown. This creates enigma codes for my audience as they wonder what's there. My other location, a typical village road, then contrasts with the woods. This is because the two locations often aren't seen together. I chose to film the very opening on the road, as I feel it was a safer, more comforting place for my protagonist to walk before she leaves civilization and enters the dangerous woods. Other existing horror movies that have used woodland locations previously are movies such as The Blair Witch Project. The protagonist in my film is Megan. She is a typical teenage girl, which makes her the perfect victim for a horror movie. Her blonde hair and girly characteristics portray her as being a defenseless, vulnerable adolescent, which is exactly how I wanted her to come across. She is rather similar to Casey, the girl at the start of Scream. They both share similar characteristics, blonde hair and youthful, ambiguous clothes, which makes them both seem incredibly vulnerable. The antagonist in my opening remains unseen throughout. This adds a sense of fear and tension to my opening, as it could be anyone. The shadow on the leaves is the only giveaway that it is definitely someone that is following Megan and not just her imagination, which adds to the mysterious effect of my opening. This is similar to Saw, where the antagonist is also not revealed for a while. The only specific props used in my opening are a mobile phone. The phone use implies to the audience that my protagonist is a tech-savvy person, making her your typical teenager, and so more relatable to my target audience. The rest of my titles are overlaid onto the visuals throughout my opening. They are white, which connotes to the ghostiness and mystery, and I felt that, as well as conforming to my genre, the white is also plain and simple. The font adds to the mysterious effect as well, and also looks like a stereotypical horror font. They also fade off the screen to add further to the sinister uneasiness of my opening. I have used certain shots in editing to set up the storyline and raise enigma in my horror opening. An example of this would be the first stalker shot from behind the hedge. This shot gives the sense that Megan is being watched, which begins to raise tension and enigma within my audience. The lack of content in my opening that is revealed is similar to the beginning of The Descent, where the women are all shown rafting and not a lot else. I also chose some of the main locations and titles, as one of the key features of an opening sequence is to create tension, and that is what I aim to do with these different aspects.